That sets the tone perfectly for what we're doing today. Welcome to our Burning Bowl service. It is a beautiful ceremony that has at its core this idea of release, which is also one of our 12 powers. We really get to exercise it today. It also is very much inspired by, indigenous cultures that see the fire as a sacred thing, a sacred element, not only providing warmth and light, but also having the ability to release whatever is no longer serving us, offering it up into a prayer of smoke, and going back into the unformed state. And so as we participate in this intentionally, consciously, we can also release whatever's holding us back, whatever's keeping us small, and begin to live more intentionally. And the time is right for this. You know, we have just completed another cycle, another year in the journey of our soul's growth. And this is the time of the year that we're usually reflecting on the year, looking back, reflecting on the bright spots and the not so bright spots, what we're grateful for, and maybe some of the things that just didn't work so well. And when we look at those things that really haven't been working so well, very often what comes to mind are the challenges, the unpleasant experiences, the painful things, and we're all on board for leaving those behind. I am all on board for leaving behind the relentless eye issue and insurance BS and relationship stuff and the election cycle, quick, where is the fire pit? Let me throw that in there, right? God, phew. But of course, being on a spiritual path, that exploration, becomes a little deeper, a little more thoughtful process. And it includes exploring what has not been working well within us. Maybe those patterns that are underneath, that are giving rise to the experiences in our life. Maybe it's the energy that's out of alignment. The energy that needs to be released, that's kind of keeping us stuck, keeping us trapped. But here's the thing, the challenges, the painful things are clues for us. The universe is trying to get our attention, It's trying to get our attention so that we can make that internal adjustment, so that we can clear things out and heal and create a clear space from which to then create more intentionally. So let's get curious about that. And we can explore those things through meditation, contemplation, journaling, to uncover what's underlying the appearance thing. So I'm going to be leading us in a little guided process in a few minutes to do just that. And, as I shared a few weeks ago, that I had kind of discovered some underlying stuff that needed to be, the universe was really trying to get my attention with the eye thing. I had, it's fine, it's much better now, but for a while it was like my whole side of my face was swollen and it was infected and I couldn't open it was just like awful. And, one of those challenges, the universe is getting my attention. So I knew that I needed to do some inner exploration. And what I discovered was I needed to pay attention and address and release some unresolved grief and some buried negative feelings, and the way I was kind of looking at life through a filter of judgment. So I did my best, right? As we do. We do our best to clear some of these things out. And as I began to do that, I felt that these things that were weighing me down, were really kind of keeping me stuck. These things were beginning to be released. And then the condition is being released. This is how it goes. This is how it works. The universe is always trying to get our attention. The question is, are we taking the clues? It's up to us to find the connection between those internal patterns and the external experience that is underlying, right? It's up to us to, in essence, change the environment of our consciousness. We want to change the environment of our consciousness. So, as an analogy, like say you're walking into a very dark room. There's no light whatsoever. It's like pitch black dark. And you're bumping into things and you're knocking stuff over. It's not fun until you decide to go over and turn the light. Turn on the light. And then voila. Oh, look. That thing that I was bumping into, that obstacle that was there, is actually a chair that I can sit and relax. So when we change the environment of our consciousness, it's like we're turning on the light. And we're seeing from a new perspective. We are seeing those issues that were once we thought an obstacle either resolve themselves on their own or they become an ally. Changing the environment of our consciousness. And it also raises the vibration. It raises our vibration, so we're seeing at a new level, a level that we might see possibilities that we didn't see before, that were hidden to us because we were so busy looking at the problem. As Derek Rydell says, problems don't get solved. They dissolve when we evolve our consciousness, which I think is a very clever, play on words. But it gives us the idea, it illustrates this idea that problems don't just go away when we're focusing on them. We're focusing on that problem. Or when we're creating where the problem develops from the same level of consciousness, when we're trying to solve it from the same level of consciousness that created the problem to begin with. Right? We need to shift that consciousness. So instead, we make this connection between the internal patterns and the external experience. This is the power of understanding. If you were here at our Christmas Eve service, I think it was Brad, you read that power of understanding. That was talking about how we can make that connection between what's inside and what I mean by the patterns of thinking, beliefs, habit patterns, those things that seem to be an obstacle, but when we're willing to explore, it can be released. And then the problem just resolves itself. So as you can see, this is a different way of, it's not just saying positive affirmations, right? This is not just, it goes a little deeper in the saying positive affirmations. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, knew this better than anyone. He knew that you couldn't just think positive thoughts and repeat affirmations and expect transformation to happen. He knew that in order to transform, you first had to release those old ideas. You first had to, pay it, what is it, and then release it. He says in his book, The 12 Powers, if the thoughts are lifted up, the whole organism is raised to higher rates of vibration. You see? But there must be a renunciation or a letting go of old thoughts before the new can find a place in your consciousness. Thoughts are things, they occupy space in the mental field. A healthy state of mind is attained and continued when the thinker willingly lets go, so consciously releasing the old thoughts and takes on the new. This is illustrated by the inlet and the outlet of a pool of water. Stop the inlet and the pool goes dry. Close the natural outlet and the pool stagnates. Or like the Dead Sea, it crystallizes into salt. So, this is what we're doing symbolically with the burning bowl. We are discovering those patterns, making that connection, releasing this in here. And now, when we do that, we've cleared the space. There's suddenly room in our consciousness. We've got room. And now we can see those possibilities that were always there, that we're just waiting for our recognition of them. And then, next week, we do the white stone service. So this is kind of a double experience here. They go hand in hand. The burning bowl, we're talking about today, releasing, we're clearing the space, and then next week, with the white stone service, we listen to our inner wisdom. We've cleared some space. Now there's room, and we're looking at the possibilities. And we are seeing and hearing something that wants to guide us in a certain way for the next year. So sometimes a word, very often a word, sometimes a phrase comes to mind as we listen deeply to our inner wisdom. And we write that down on the white stone, and that becomes our guide for 2025. My goodness, it's 2025 in just a couple of days. Yeah, okay, so are you ready to do this? Yeah. I love that song you guys came up with, that you played. It's just really beautiful. So go into that energy as we do this. And if I could have the greeters come by and pass out there are these little sheets of flash paper. And I'm going to guide you in a guided meditation to sort of maybe direct you into, certain areas. And then only when you're ready, open your eyes and take the pencil in the seat back in front of you and write on that. Put that on there. Oh, I think I need to take that off. Get that started. For those of you joining at home, you are welcome to please do this with us. Just take a little piece of paper, a little scrap piece of paper, and take that in your hand as we do this meditation, and then at the end you can write on that. And you can either at the end tear it up into a million pieces, or safely, maybe in an ashtray, light it on fire when we're ready to do that. So I want you to feel that you're doing this with us. All right, so just take that paper, put it in your hands, begin to take some slow, deep breaths. Relax your body, relax your thinking mind. Beginning to let go, surrender into the love that is waiting. It's right there. And feel as you breathe in this space, feel the presence of Spirit that is fully here in this moment, that is within your heart. And consciously connect with that inner divine wisdom. Some people feel it in their heart. Some people feel it in their third eye. Wherever you feel, some people feel it in their solar plexus. So wherever you feel that connection to that divine wisdom, put your attention there. Breathe there for a couple of breaths. This inner wisdom is waiting to reveal anything that needs to be addressed and released. The mental, emotional patterns that are behind the challenges that have given rise to them. So we're getting curious now. We're turning on the light. And we want to do this with a sense of gratitude about what we discover. There is no room for shame or self-judgment. We'll leave that out. This is done with a feeling of, oh yeah, I finally get to release this thing and turn on the light here. So from that sense, ask your divine wisdom to reveal any area where maybe your growth has been stalled, where you've experienced being stuck, where are the challenges that keep repeating, that keep showing up? And is there a belief, an old belief or a fear that's underlying that, which keeps those patterns in place? What is that? Breathe. Maybe divine wisdom wants to reveal any judgment of yourself or judgment of others that is robbing you of your peace. Are there any unresolved resentments? An inability to forgive? Unresolved grief that might be at the root of a health challenge? Breathe. Is there scarcity thinking, old ideas about money that might be keeping you stuck in lack and limitation? Anything that's getting in the way of being more loving? Any fears that might be holding you back from living fully, expressing your full, magnificent self? Time to release it. Time to let that go. And let the true you, the magnificent self that you are, be fully expressed. Keep breathing. Keep listening. And when you're ready, when you've got something, open your eyes and take the pencil. Usually works best on this flash paper. Go ahead and write that on there, knowing that you are just about to release that and let that go. If I could I get one? Does anybody need a pencil? Hang on. Alt, you are ready to release that, aren't you? Let's wait till... You've been holding it longer than most, yeah. Alt, we just celebrated his 90th birthday. Thank you. Do you think I could ask Bright Matter to maybe do a soft version of that song that we were doing before, that release song? That would be so awesome. And, okay, yes, do yours first. Yeah. Yeah, look at that go. Artfully done. And if I could have, well, we'll let you go first. But then Ald, if we could have the back row start and line up and come on up through the center, and then when you go back to your seat, go up through the side aisle. Come on up. Come on up.
And surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
Prayer smoke.
I release control.
Offer up in a prayer of smoke.
And surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
Anybody back there in the soundboard, would you guys like to come up?
Control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
All right. Let's affirm together, I am free. I am free. I allow wonderful new possibilities to grow. I allow new possibilities to grow. And so it is. Yeah. All right. Hi. If this video has inspired you, opened your heart, expanded your consciousness, filled you with hope, empowered you in some way, we encourage you to support what we offer here at Unity Center of Peace by making your donation now. And thank you.